Welcome to this explainer. If you're a new dog owner, you know the exact feeling we're talking about, right? It's this wild mix of immense excitement and, let's be totally honest, a pretty good bit of pressure. We all absolutely want to do right by our dogs, but sometimes our totally natural human instincts communicate the exact opposite of what we actually intend in dog language. So, in this explainer, we are taking 7 really common owner mistakes, the kinds of things that silently erode a dog's trust, and we're transforming them into an empowering, highly practical training guide to help you prevent hidden stress right from the very beginning.
Here is the game plan for today. We're going to cover building trust from day one, how to touch and talk, creating a safe routine, walks, attention, and rewards, and finally, protecting your unbreakable bond. Let's dive right in.
All right, Section 1, building trust from day one.
Let's start with the physical space your dog completely relies on to feel secure in your home. You know, it's actually amazing how quickly our human reactions can accidentally just poison that environment. A really common mistake is using the crate as a timeout space when you're frustrated. But here's the thing, a crate never forgets how it makes your dog feel. It is all about emotional association. Using a crate out of anger quickly turns it into, it transforms a safe space into a blazing emotional warning sign. You'll see their hesitation, their paws lock up, the whining starts. That feeling of safety just completely vanishes, and the crate literally becomes a physical reminder of fear.
So, to build real trust, you need to implement some positive alternatives to completely reframe the crate. Step 1, make it super boring and calm. It absolutely shouldn't be a highly charged zone. It needs to feel like a cozy, chill bedroom. Step 2, feed them there. This builds incredibly positive, tasty associations. And Step 3, ensure they rest there. By doing this, you are actively creating a healthy, calm space where they literally never have to remember feeling fear or punishment.
Moving on to Section 2, how to touch and talk.
Let's explore how our subtle, everyday physical actions quietly impact a dog's sense of safety. Think about when you lean in and your hand goes right down over a dog's head. You might actually notice them stiffen up for just a split second. Because in dog language, a hand coming from above feels sudden and honestly pretty controlling. It completely skips asking for consent. Instead, try changing the angle. Skip that sudden pat on the head and move a bit slower. Pet the chest or right under the chin. Let your dog lean into that chest rub first. Giving them that choice, that builds massive amounts of trust.
Now, as a new owner, it is such an easy mistake to just raise your voice for quick obedience. Yelling works fast, which is exactly why it causes so much long-term damage. Shouting simply shuts off learning. When you shout, fear takes the wheel. Sure, obedience might happen in that split second, but trust is quietly eroding over time, and your dog basically just starts obeying without any joy.
And this happens because of a concept called emotional imprinting. Look, dogs are not decoding our complicated sentences and vocabulary. They feel our tone. When you yell, they are imprinting on the danger of your voice, not the actual lesson you're trying to teach them. Calm voices actually teach so much better, and the lessons last much, much longer. If you use a calm voice, they learn because they truly feel safe, rather than just throwing their paws up and giving up.
Okay, Section 3, creating a safe routine.
Let's look at how the daily rhythm of your household directly affects your dog's nervous system. Dogs rely super heavily on patterns. Living without predictability feels like permanent jet lag to a dog. Just imagine someone changing your alarm clock and taking away your morning coffee time every single day. Your dog starts guessing instead of trusting, and that shows up as quiet stress and specific nervous habits. You'll see anxiety rising, pacing the floors, whining, and incredibly clingy behavior.
Fortunately, the solution for this is incredibly easy for new owners. You absolutely do not need absolute perfection in your schedule. What you do need is a consistent routine of signals. Keeping roughly the same walk times, consistent feeding windows, and regular bedtimes actively calms their nervous system. When you replace a totally random schedule with predictable signals, you eliminate that daily jet lag, and those nervous habits just start to fade away.
Let's jump into Section 4, walks, attention, and rewards.
Let's tackle the vital daily activities that keep your dog's motivation and spirit completely alive. As a new owner, you might view walks as just a mandatory chore to burn off some energy, but it is really time to rethink one of our biggest daily activities by asking a question that totally challenges the idea of walks just being about steps or burning calories. What if they serve a much deeper purpose?
The reality is, walks are literally emotional oxygen for your dog. It's not just about physical exertion.
It's about providing stimulation, choice, and meaning. When you're out there, let them sniff a bit longer. Let them lead the way sometimes. Smells and routes are incredibly important decisions for them. By letting them make choices on the walk, you are quietly communicating that their world truly matters.
And back inside the house, how are we handling their attention? Imagine this. Your dog brings a toy over while you are scrolling on your phone, and you just ignore them until they slowly walk away. They aren't demanding nonstop around-the-clock play, they are making a bid for connection. They just crave to be seen. A really simple, brief acknowledgement, like a quick look, a soft touch, a few kind words, tells them they exist in your world. If you constantly ignore these bids, over time, your dog won't get angry, they will just grow distant.
Finally, in this section, let's talk about feedback. A huge, common mistake is expecting a dog to behave perfectly just because you love them. But love alone doesn't motivate dogs to learn the rules. Rewards do. You must provide feedback through positive outcomes. Give small treats, use a really happy voice to say, "Yes, that mattered." Without that clear feedback, their effort goes completely unnoticed, their motivation dies, and they simply stop believing the effort is even worth it.
And finally, Section 5, protecting your unbreakable bond.
Let's wrap all of this up by looking at the big picture of your relationship and what these training pivots actually achieve for you and your dog. A dog might forgive a whole lot, but they never forget how you make them feel. By transforming those common mistakes into these positive actions, opting for that chest rub instead of the top of the head, using a calm tone, providing emotional oxygen on your walks, and acknowledging those little bids for connection, you are actively choosing patience, consistency, and presence. You're ensuring your dog never has to feel the silent damage of eroded trust.
So I want to leave you with a question to reflect on for your own journey, whether you're a brand new or incredibly experienced owner. Which moment with your dog changed how you treat them forever? Because training isn't just about changing your dog's behavior, right? It's about changing ours to better support them. I really encourage you to share your story and reflect on these practices as we all continue learning together. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.